Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kat. Well, it's Christmas time. First, Merry Christmas to all of you and thank you so much for watching my channel in the past, I don't know how many months, past year. Since I know I started my channel right after my defense, which is early this year. So again, thank you so much and happy holidays. Today, I would like to discuss with you a topic I know many of you are interested because I got quite a few comments and questions via emails as well. You know, the key question is about the career advancement in consulting. I'm sure you might hear from friends, family members, or just Google online. Consulting is an industry that is different from the corporate world, okay? You might hear that in consulting, it is quite flat. So in this video, I really want to explain what different titles means, what the career opportunities are in consulting, and what responsibilities are at different level, how long it takes to progress from one title to the other, and ultimately, achieve at the partner level. And I might also review here and there the salary information, the range, of course, at different level. If you have been watching my videos, I hope you enjoy those contents. And if you're first time here, I'm Kat. I work in a strategy consulting company focusing on healthcare. In my channel, I share with you everything about consulting, as well as other career opportunities for advanced degree holders, such as PhDs, JDs, if you want to pursue non-traditional career opportunities. Let's get started. First, I want to tell you that consulting is a unique industry because it is a service provider, right? It's not like if you have a product such as Facebook, for example, or Meta, I guess now. Any of these companies, typically they have a product, right? Either it is a website or a phone or a computer or packaged goods. You typically have a product, right? And then the company pretty much established based on these products. Thus, you have people from the sales, you have people from procurement, you have people from, analytics, accounting, as well as executive members who are at the management level, right? That is why, in a corporate like the one that I just described, you have so many different roles, so you have to climb the ladder to go all the way up to the upper management, right? In such companies, because you have to progress your career from, the when you just join as whatever role that is, let's say in sales, right? And then you accumulate experience, you have to know your network, and then you become a manager who manages certain people, and you progress the corporate ladder. And then in different companies, those ladders can be really long, okay? It might be very difficult. You might only just have that one boss that can control who can be promoted, who cannot. And I've heard so many stories about this. Some people have strong capabilities, cannot be promoted because the internal politics, right? Because you are within that large corporation, a small department, within that small department, you're in a tiny, teeny team. It is just really difficult to tell people from other team, other departments, how good you are because your boss pretty much decides if you can progress or not. However, this is not the case in consulting. Consulting, as you might heard, the structure within the firms are quite flat, meaning that you do not have such different segmentations within the corporation because your skill sets are not that specialized, right? You're not just trying to, develop a certain piece within that certain products. Because the products in the consulting companies are the talents, the brains from consultants, right? You use the knowledge that you gain over the years to provide the best solution to your clients. Because of that, as long as you accumulate enough knowledge, aka the time and number of projects that you have done within the consulting companies, and you can potentially be the leader of that industry. The area of expertise can be narrowed, right? For example, within healthcare, you might specialize in medtech. You know so much about the medical device world, you can give really good recommendations, strategic thinking around that field. But medical device is a huge area, for example. It is not one specific medical device company has a very specific medical device as their product, right? If you think about it, consultants are trying to solve a bigger question within an industry. Because of that, consulting companies do not need a corporate ladder. As long as you're excellent, they promote you, right? You don't have to compete with other people, right? You don't have to fight over one single position with another 10 people in your team, right? If 10 of you are good, all of you get promoted, right? That is one reason I think why consulting structure is flat, which is great for me, I think. And second of all, I think also consulting is an industry that is very fluid, right? People come in and go. People who do not know what they want to do want to just try consulting first and then figure out what they want to do and then they leave, right? Because of so much turnover, people who really stay in consulting really love consulting, right? And then I'm sure, they love consulting, they're good at what they do, and of course they get promoted. So with that being said, let me tell you different titles or different responsibilities within consulting companies if you're interested in joining consulting. If you're a college graduate, right, your early 20s, you don't really know what you want to do, you were like, oh, let me try consulting for 1 or 2 years just to figure out what I want to do, right? That is perfectly fine. So typically you join consulting as analysts, okay? Just heads up, titles in different consulting companies vary, okay? You might hear, in the consulting company A call their college graduate analyst, but you might hear from consulting company B call their analyst associates. You might hear from consulting company C that they call their analyst associate consultants. The title can vary, but the role and your responsibility really doesn't vary that much across the firms, okay? It is very similar within the consulting industry. I will share with you different titles just for your information. The titles really don't matter. Different companies have different rules. So if you're a college graduate, you join as an analyst or associates as I described, and your role is typically when you're staffed on a project, being a supportive person, right? You gather information, you do the analysis, and that's pretty much, your main role as an analyst. Okay, then let's say if you graduate from an MBA, right? Now you have more experience, more knowledge around the business world, or you graduate from an advanced degree, such as PhD, MD, or JD, meaning that you are a relative expert within the industry, right? So you typically join as consultants, senior analysts, associates, titles don't really matter. The responsibilities are very similar compared to your peers who just graduate from college. However, you might get promoted faster because you know the industry better. You might have stronger skill sets around presentation or just quicker getting information, etc. So that's level 2. And then level 3 will be pretty much engagement manager or case team leader. Okay, so as you can tell from the name that they're at the manager level. So they manage team already. As I've told you in my previous videos, how a team structured in consulting, typically you have a person at a more senior level, you have a person at the case team leader / engagement manager level, and you have a couple analysts. Typically within a team on a project, you have one case team leader or engagement manager. Okay, so that would be a level 3, which is above the consultants. And then you have level 4. So level 4 are typically directors or associate partners. Names really varies across the firms again. And they are the people who also managing projects, just very similar to the engagement managers. However, because they're more senior than the engagement managers, meaning potentially they have 2 or 3 years more experience than the engagement managers. So they not only manage teams, but they also will try to write proposals, trying to gain clients for the company. As you can tell, their roles are kind of shifting from internal facing to external facing. They're more engaging in the client management, right? Because level 5, here we go, are the partners. And partners are definitely the pillars of the firm, right? They get clients, they make good relationship with the clients, they get business for the company, and then the internal team do all the projects, right? So for example, a case team leader or engagement manager typically lead, 2 projects, let's say. It also varies in different firms, but that's all they do, right? So for directors or associate partners, maybe 60-70% of the time they're trying to manage projects, but the rest of the time they might be busy trying to write proposal and trying to engage with the clients, right? However, for partners, potentially, 60-70% of the time they're actually trying to engage with the clients. Client engagements not only saying they're only trying to get business for the company, for all the presentations, for all the key stakeholders, let's say, potentially they might present, they might answer the questions, they're always engaging with the clients, right? And then the rest of the small proportion, 20-30% of the time, they're still engaging in the team meetings, internal facing, addressing some key questions that team members have. But most of the time, as you can tell, are dedicated for client management. And the last question, potentially many people are very interested about salaries. I will just tell you a range that, if you freshly graduate from college, depends on which firm you join, the salary will typically a little below 100K. And then if you join at a consultant level too, then your salary is above 100K, 130, 150K, depends on the company. And then if you join as engagement manager, it'll be 200, 250K. And then above, it's hard to tell, depends on how much business you get, right? And that is where the big money is from. It really varies. And ultimately, money is one of the biggest driver for people who join consulting. But I think if you want to stay in consulting for long, money shouldn't be the only driver, right? Which I will probably dedicate a video to explain the mystery about consulting salaries. Great. I think I will wrap up with the video to just summarize what I've shared. Level 1, analyst level for people who graduate just from college. Second level are consultants who join after getting their MBAs and other advanced degrees, such as PhDs, MDs, and JDs. Third level, case team leader or engagement managers who join the consulting after the industry experience for a couple of years, or they stay within consulting and get promoted from the prior levels. Typically, the timeline for promotion is every 2-3 years. Also depends on the industry as well as companies. And then after engagement manager, the level 4 are directors or associate partners. And this is the level where you start writing proposals and acquiring business for your company because you're trying to become partners, which is level 5. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and learn a little bit more about career advancement in consulting and why consulting structure is relatively flat without the corporate ladder. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Merry Christmas!